Today's Friday, September 13th, 2019. This is Roland Martin Unfiltered, broadcasting live from the 49th Annual Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, ALC. Got a great show for you. Comedian Earthquake is in the house. He don't know jack about politics, but what the hell? We're going to ask him some stuff anyway. And so we'll hear what he got to say. Also, we'll talk about last night's Democrat debate in Houston, Texas, at Texas Southern University. What the hell was Joe Biden talking about? Record player? Joe! And Julian Castro was just slapping everybody last night. Folks, we got a jam-packed show for you. It's time to bring the funk on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the biz, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time. And it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now.
Hey, folks, Roland Martin here. We're at 49th Annual CBCF ALC. It is great to be here. It's been a jam-packed day. I actually had 3 panels. I was flying in from Houston from a Democratic debate last night at TSU, and so I missed the first one. Sorry, Congressman Manuel Cleaver. Couldn't get here in time, but, of course, we did have the hip-hop and politics panel. Will be streaming that later tonight. And then also, of course, we did our school choice is the Black Choice panel. We live streamed that as well, so you can watch both of those on our YouTube channel. And so we're going to talk about last night's debate, all kind of other stuff. But first, I want to holler at comedian Earthquake. He's in the house. What the hell are you doing here at CBC?
Hey, man, I came to see you, and I'm seeing a lot of black people. It's looking good. I didn't know what it was, but it looked like a party. So let freedom ring.
So what, were you just driving around and you saw black people and you said, I'm just going to walk in?
Listen, sir. I was driving around and I seen a lot of beautiful black women in the convention. That's all it takes.
So you just said, park the car, we're just going to walk through.
Park the car. It had a lot of letters, CB, whatever. I had to make sure it was the right letters. And once I found out they was the right letters, I came on in.
Oh, but you probably, what you thought was CBD, like something to do with cannabis?
CBD, DDB, you know, any letters, but not the wrong letters, and it was the right ones. So I'm in here. And seeing you looking on.
Well,
Look at you, brother.
You know.
See, I'm going to tell you something about Roland. He think he can dance. I told him he can't beat me and fatigue. If we play, we dance against each other, I kill you, man. But you know them Southern boys, they don't understand. You got to slap them down when you're from up north. They just don't know what's happening.
If y'all really want to understand that nonsense, go to YouTube and Google earthquake and dancing.
Yes.
Nothing comes up.
Because
now you Google Roland Martin dancing, you're gonna see some real footwork. You're gonna see some dancing.
Buffoonery.
No, you're gonna see some, and of course me dancing with all kind of folks. Lisa Ray, Ava DuVernay, dancing with Elise Neal.
You're dropping a lot of names. You're dropping a lot of things. You want to pick that up?
Because I can also
dropping a lot of names.
Because I can also drop it like it's hot and come back up.
Yeah, and lose your back.
No, I ain't lose mine.
You ain't got no health care.
All my stuff work.
Obamacare don't cover bad backs.
See, you've been doing all this talking for about 4 or 5 years.
I told you when we was on the cruise, pick a day, we'll put my charity against your charity, and we'll donate the funds who win.
All right.
You can't, man. You're down south.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
From Washington, D.C.
First of all, I'm not down south. I live here.
Yeah, that's why our tax rate went up. We had you here. I knew it was something was wrong that we had you here.
You've been running from me.
No, man, listen. I don't run from you, and I don't have to run from you. All I got to do is drop a sandwich down and let you make a decision.
Actually, you don't run. You try to walk a little fast, but it's really.
Well, we'll see what happens. You're going to need all them colors.
No, I'm ready.
You're going to need, just pick
Hold
the day.
up, and I don't even need to practice.
You do need to practice.
I mean, you going to need to call Debbie Allen.
Let me explain something to you. Roland is that old uncle at the cookout. Out there had a couple drinks, pulling all his nieces on the floor. That's who old Roland is.
Let me help y'all out. I don't drink. See?
I know you don't drink,
see,
but
I
you're
can
still
dance.
that uncle who's drunk at the cookout.
I can dance with everybody again. All I'm saying is show me some evidence of your skill set,
Man,
other than comedy?
listen to me. Bad boys move in silence, even with dancing. You understand? I can get some reference, but I don't want to drop no names like you. So tacky. So tacky.
Yeah, you put that
So
no names
tacky.
because he ain't got no
So
names
tacky.
to drop.
You,
You
understand?
can't drop that.
Putting people business house. It's so tacky.
I'm ready. I'm ready. So you let me know when you're ready. We'll put it up. We'll do it for
Okay.
charity. We'll
Okay.
sell some tickets.
Yes.
We'll figure out who wants
Yeah.
to host this thing.
Yeah.
We'll find somebody. But
Yeah.
y'all gotta give the venue for free.
Yes, we would do that because, I turn down American dancing all the time. They want me to be on there all the time. I said, no, thank you. You know what I mean?
You
come
said
on,
American
dancing, all
Oh,
of
Dancing
it.
with the Stars.
Yes, Dancing with the Stars,
Don't you
American
have to
dancing.
be a star?
Which I am. What do you want to compare?
What?
Resumes?
Are you like that?
Oh,
what, that Eastern Star?
No,
Are you,
I am internationally star. Check my cue. I'm doing it, baby. Always trying to see black on black
Check
crime.
your
That's why we
cue.
can't get nowhere.
Check-
Black on black crime.
No, I'm just asking.
You said
I mean-
hating in his 50s.
But you said you keep
You know what I'm
you said you
saying?
keep turning them
It's
down.
a shame that they hate in their 50s.
You say you keep turning them
Please,
down?
somebody get your uncle and give him his medicine.
You keep turning them down?
Because he's emotionally constipated with my progression.
No, I'm just trying to understand.
You understand? I am a star.
Okay.
Ask every woman that you like. Ask them. They'll tell you. Quake is the man. So how you doing, brother? I ain't come here. This is your show. I'm sitting here. Told you I'd come up here. I forgot to bring you a jacket, but we'll be good.
So we're talking about politics.
Yes.
Obviously, happened over here. Just Trump.
Trump, when it comes to whoever running against him, I'm voting against him. I vote against Hillary. I live in Texas just
You voted
like you.
against Hillary or for Hillary?
I voted against him with Hillary.
Got it.
Yes, and she wrote a book talking about what happened, and I said, you lost. And just needed one page for that. And, you didn't campaign. You was like Dean Smith, William, back in the day, four corners, try to run the clock out. But I'll vote for anybody that runs against Trump. That could be the tree, the shirt, anything. That's how I'm voting this time. I vote all the time.
So you got Joe Biden leading the Democratic side. You got Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris,
Well,
Cory Booker,
I
Beto
can't-
O'Rourke, Castro.
I can't vote for any of, especially Warren or Bernie Sanders. 90% tax rate. I'm sorry, can't do it. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't think you should give 70% of nothing of yours. If you make $1 and you give 70%, 70%
Well, they're not
of your
asking you
money.
to give 70%.
No, they said taxes for the 1%ers. They wanted to go up to 70%.
Oh, so you're admitting you're a 1%er?
Yes, I am. And as a 1%, if I work for $1, I'm not giving 70% of nothing. You give 70% of $1 to alcohol, you're an alcoholic. If you give 70% of your money to drugs, you're a drug addict. I'm not giving you 70% of nothing of mine. So they already out.
Well,
right there.
if that's the case, that means Trump's your guy.
Well, no, he's not. Don't get me wrong. I took the tax cut, and I said thank you. Then I went back and marched against them. But I did take the money. I did take it back. I am an entrepreneur. My business do flourish, and I am a 1%er. I don't believe in it. I believe in small government. Yes, I am. I'm an independent. I'm not a Democrat. Always have been, always will be.
So that means what? You look at the Green Party candidate, who you said, but you vote for anybody other than Trump.
Well, just because we got Lucifer there, I have no choice. I'm just going to have to take it to the chin. You know what I mean? If she make it through the primaries and if she is the nominee at that point.
You mean Elizabeth Warren?
Elizabeth Warren, anybody. Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, the rest of them, I'm just going to have to suck it up and find some other way to diverse my money.
But is there any one of them who you really like? Although you say independent, one you really like? I mean, these two black candidates running.
Well,
Senator Kamala Harris and Senator Cory Booker.
Booker, I love him to death. He still owed me money when I did his foundation when I lived in New Jersey. So I'm holding my vote back for him. I'm a strong advocate of black women. So Kamala is, but I just don't think my country ready to nominate a double minority, a woman and black. So I don't think she'll win. That's just my personal opinion on it. I don't think the country go that point. So I'm hoping that, Biden get himself together and get in fight shape for the general election, and he pull us on through.
Yeah, but last night, he had some issues when he was asked about systemic racism, and then he started talking about record players and read to your kids and what
He the grandfather, man. He don't. You understand? Ask my father what a remote is. He gonna show you the VCR. It's just where it's at. You know what I mean? It's just where he at. We gotta put some people around him, tell him what it is, like he used back the old day. Put advisors around him. Then they tell him what he should do, and he pick which door to go, and then go outside and tell us what we need. We only got one fool up here that's doing all foreign, everything off the top of his head. And if you want to get his attention, just assault him, and you get the other way.
Well, here's the deal, though. Bernie's 78.
Yes.
Biden 76.
True.
Warren's 70.
Right.
But compared to those two, she sounds like she's 52.
Yes, she do. But she also wants 70%, baby. And once she said 70%, and then you talk about taking away people's health care, I understand you want to be better, but you just improve on Obamacare, not try to get rid of all of them.
So you don't support Medicare for all? You believe?
No, I don't. No, I do not. I do not support Medicaid for all. I do not support
Medicare, not Medicaid.
Medicare.
What, are you hungry or something?
No,
You
I'm
want some
not.
dessert?
I don't want any dessert. I see you didn't have.
I see you done had some peach cobbler.
Oh man, I'm on that slim. Look at me, I'm looking good.
Oh, you're that Dick Gregory?
Yeah, no, I ain't on that Dick Gregory. I'm on that Stairmaster. You know how that kid? Damn, I'm getting it in. But no, I'm not for Medicare for all, especially not Medicare insurance for people that doesn't have it, that is not in his country illegal either.
Okay.
I'm not for that either. Small government, man. Less taxes. Entrepreneur. Free state.
What does small government even mean?
Small government means not so much sitting around here spending all your money to the government for them, especially the number one budget is the defense. I used to be in the military for 9 years.
We spend too much damn money on defense.
Yes, but it goes to the contractors, it don't go to the soldiers.
I know that, Bob. We
not
spend
go
too much money on defense.
And yes, you're getting weapons that you don't need and the rest of it. I was in the military for 9 years. We never, ever got a raise. But the contractors got it. We got planes we ain't need and the rest of it.
Which branch were you in?
I was in the Air Force. Intelligent over here, brother.
You in the Air Force?
Yeah, 9
But you afraid of
years.
heights?
Listen, I ain't had to get in the plane. I just had to fix them. Come on, brother. Don't y'all over here. I don't get in no plane, brother. Not no F-15.
You in the Air Force, but you were not getting in planes.
No, I'm not flying in no plane, man. No, only reason why I fly on planes now because it's an occupational hazard. It has to get to me to my gigs. But flying in F-15s and rest of them, no, sir. No. I hate that feeling of weightlessness. And them 4 to 10 Gs that goes in the F-15, F-14, they can keep that because they always had them incentive flights. If you do so well, we'll give you a flight. I you can go ahead. I was jamming in.
So you passed up all the flights?
Passed up all the flights. They go up there. No, sir. No.
So your job in the Air Force was what?
Loading bombs, nuclear weapons. Yes, B-52s, F-15.
They let you load bombs?
Yeah, and I dropped the nuke trying to see 2 Live Crew one time. Yeah, that was back in the day, yeah. I loaded, nuclear weapons on B-52. Boxdale Air Force Base, 462. Y'all know how it is in Louisiana. That's it, cruise missiles.
So did you apply for that job?
No, I took the test and I was qualified for a lot of things. I was going to be an air traffic controller, but they said it took too long. They said, come back in March and you can go to tech school. I said, what job you got that I can lead today? Because I just joined the military to get out of my mother's house, And so Was
it your call or her call?
No, it's my call. You know what I mean?
She was driving you crazy?
Yeah, she was driving real crazy. My mother was there. But I was going to do 20 years, but the war broke out. So I said, man, I could
Wait. You were going to do 20 years.
Yeah, but the war broke out.
And you I'm out.
Yeah, I said I could have stayed at home to get shot at. I joined the military to see the world. I had to tell them the truth. I ain't no real soldier. I just did this to get out of my mother's house. And they were like, if you don't go over there and fight, we're going to take your stripes. I was like, you can take the stripes, the sleeves, the helmet, canteen. All you had to do is drop me back off at the recruit office, and we'll call it my brother.
So your 9 years,
I was a terrible soldier, though. I wasn't going to make it to 20 because I was in the military for 9 years. Came in as an E1, 9 years later, left as an E1.
You had no growth?
Man, none, zero. It was people that just was joining that I had to say yes, sir, to. It was terrible. I was a terrible soldier. uniform was never, just did just enough that you didn't get put out. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have lasted 48 hours.
Yeah, you would.
No,
because you're smart. It's a
no,
game.
no, no.
It's a lot.
I'm not good taking orders.
Well, you don't have to take orders. You just don't break the order. You see what I'm saying? Don't break the order. Like they say, go do that. Now, I'll go do it, but it's going to take me all day. So they tell me stop doing it.
So no one ever told you, give me 20 push-ups.
No, Air Force, you only have to run once a year, 1.5 miles. That's another reason I joined the military. I mean the Air Force. You only had to run an hour, a 1.5 miles once a year. That was the physical fitness.
That was it?
That's it. That's why the Air Force physical fitness, that's it. 1.5 miles once a year.
Because the Army and the Marines are a lot different.
Yeah, once I seen all that, I said, nah, we can't do it. And then the Navy, I said, as a black man, I ain't getting on no more boats, so I'm out of the boat business. I ain't like the first boat ride, so you ain't get me back on no more boats.
Speaking of that, I gotta ask you. I've been looking at Instagram. Like, what's up now with all these black people vacationing on yachts? I mean, I'm with you. I'm good on a cruise because it's a big ass ship.
Right.
I'm not on a smaller. No, I'm gonna have slavery flashbacks.
I don't mess with water ever since I seen Jaws. I don't just take showers. I don't even take baths no more. So you're not even getting me in all that water.
I mean, it's like I saw these photos, Magic Johnson, his birthday, and all these people, Steve and Dwayne Wade,
yes.
everybody. Like Negroes in yachts is like that's the thing.
I told you, after the first boat ride, I took my name off the list.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. That's just me. That's just me.
I mean, I guess that's the thing when you up there. I think Speed was paying like $1 million a week for his. Oh, must be sweet. Come on and just jump on that Carnival for that $4.99 and split that cabin. And docking. That's where I'm taking you to the Bermudas. You get off and do a little shopping, get back on. That's all I'm doing. But we ain't spending no $1 million on no yacht a week.
No, it's not gonna happen.
At all.
It's not gonna happen.
Ever.
Not gonna happen.
I don't even think I love a woman that much to spend $1 million a week on. I haven't been with, I guess I ain't found that kind of love. Ever. They call me cheap. I say I'm gonna stay cheap. That broke is hard on you. That broke keep you up. That broke wake you up. They give you high blood pressure. Some people right now still don't know how to pay the rent from the first. That broke break you out. I ain't going back. I swear to God. That's why I stay in Marshalls. I rock an irregular shirt.
You got the CBCF. Anything else you're doing this weekend?
Baltimore this weekend. That's why I'm up here. 2 shows tonight, 3 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. You know my motto. Pass the plate, come see Quake on Sunday. If you want free tickets, just text LAUGH at 474747. I love you, brother.
For free tickets?
For free tickets. LAUGH at 47.
Is that L-A-U-G-H?
Yes.
L-A-F-F?
No, L-A-A-G-H. Yes, LAUGH.
L-A.
L-A. You just what you supposed, man. What you spelled? Don't laugh. L-A-U-G-H.
Oh,
okay.
I thought you said
see,
something
you try to see how you try to sit like I don't know how to spell
I
laugh. See, I told you to sell out. How you do it? He said L-A-F-F. I got him.
I was just
checking. I
checking.
tell you can't trust these journalists. They always try to get you.
I was just checking.
Yeah, you was checking it. You wasn't checking. You were trying to catch me in the bag.
I was just checking.
You got it? Yes.
All right.
47, 47, 47.
All right, you got a show to do.
Yes, I do. Baltimore, see me there.
All right, get the hell out of here.
Thank you very much, black man. Nice seeing y'all, brother.
I appreciate it, man.
I love you, man, as always.
I'll let y'all know when this dance-off happens.
And it will.
We'll raise money for charity.
Beat him like he was loved.
All right, go on with that lumberjack shirt. All right, then. Don't be talking about
you ain't telling
Yes, I am.
Wearing every color that's on
you
the
damn
ground.
right. You
Walking
got
around
that
here
right.
Looking like a Skittle.
Looking good.
But a historic Skittle.
Looking good.
A historic
So, you better,
Skittle. I look at that shirt and start singing.
That's right. 16. That's right.
Oh, Jesus.
1619 to 2019.
Yeah, whatever.
He ain't know what I'm talking about. All right, y'all. All right, let's talk about what happened last night. All right, Earthquake. Good seeing you, man. All right, y'all, check out the show in Baltimore, and you got more information. What's your website?
Hit me up on the Instagram at The Real Earthquake or go to quakeshouse.com.
All right, there. Y'all check it out. Earthquake. Always a pleasure. Should have got that 10th year in the Air Force, but he didn't want to go overseas. All right, y'all, let's talk about last night's Democrat debate. It took place at Texas Southern University in Houston. It was, of course, an unbelievable night. First of all, shout out to Dr. Austin Lane, president of TSU. Phenomenal job there. All kind of drama happened last night. Let's first play Lindsay. My girl Lindsay Davis, ABC. Man, tough question to Joe Biden. Check this out.
Mr. Vice President, I want to come to you and talk to you about inequality in schools and race. In a conversation about how to deal with segregation in schools back in 1975, you told a reporter, "I don't feel responsible for the sins of my father and grandfather. I feel responsible for what the situation is today, for the sins of my own generation, and I'll be damned if I feel responsible to pay for what happened 300 years ago." You said that some 40 years ago. But as you stand here tonight, what responsibility do you think that Americans need to take to repair the legacy of slavery in our country?
Well, they have to deal with look, there is institutional segregation in this country. And from the time I got involved, I started dealing with that. Redlining, banks, making sure that we are in a position where, look, we talk about education. I propose that what we take is those very poor schools, the Title I schools, triple the amount of money we spend, from $15 to $45 billion a year. Give every single teacher a raise, the equal raise of getting out the $60,000 level. Number two, make sure that we bring in to help the teachers deal with the problems that come from home. The problems that come from home, we have one school psychologist for every 1,500 kids in America today. It's crazy. The teachers are retired. I'm married to a teacher. My deceased wife is a teacher. They have every problem coming to them. We have to make sure that every single child does, in fact, have 3-, 4-, and 5-year-olds go to school, not daycare, school. We bring social workers into homes of parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words. A kid coming from a very poor school, or a very poor background, will hear 4 million words fewer spoken by the time they get there. There's so much I'm going to go like the rest of them do, twice over.
Right, folks. Okay? What Joe Biden said has pissed off a whole bunch of people. Let's talk about our panel right now. Of course, joining us, we have Cleo Monago, of course, behavioral specialist. Dr. What's your name? Redbone. That's what Method Man said. That's what Method Man. That's what Method Man said. He like, the Redbone. The older sister with the red hair. The Redbone. That's what Method Man said. I'm just repeating what he said. Out of Julian Malvo, of course, President Emerita, Bennett College, and of course, Cleo is super black. Then we got quasi black. We got Jason, University of Maryland. Huh? Wait, no, but Cleo's super black.
As black as Cleo.
No, Cleo's super black.
We all super black.
Nah, Cleo, different kind of black. Y'all, let's go right to. First of all, what the hell was Joe Biden talking about last night? Lindsay's question was a pointed question, talking about systemic racism. He starts talking about the record player and all of that.
Who has a record player?
And the problem there. The problem there that really jumps out is him going to, in essence, saying that black folks, that we need help raising our kids. And that's not what the question was about. And there are a lot of people who are really mad as hell with what he had to say.
He was out of order. He was out of line. I mean, this is how he is reinforcing the notion that, excuse my language, but his ass is just too old to be in the play. I mean, you talk about record players, you talk about how you raise your children, and you know what? Blaming black people is not the way to get black people to support you. Now, there are a lot of older black people who are supporting him because he was President Obama's sidekick, but talking about the way that he's talked, it was the same scolding shit, excuse my language, I guess I'm on a roll today.
That Obama
but that
did.
Scolding shit, frankly, that Obama did.
Yep.
Wagging your finger and saying, learn how to raise your children. Well, the problem with black children is not their parents, it's this economy.
Jason, he actually, at the outset of her question, he sort of had this smirk. And that's what started this whole deal. Right. And again, I mean, you're sitting here going, at what point, Joe Biden, are you needing to understand that this generation, that ain't going to work.
Right.
And you're to Julian's point. Look, Obama got jacked up by black folks on that, and he became cognizant of that. Always telling black folks, stop feeding them Popeyes, stop doing this, stop doing that,
Right.
as if that's what all black parents were doing.
Right. You know, I just think Joe Biden in every debate, he looks unprepared. He should have been. He should know his own statements, even from 40 years ago.
Right.
If you've had that long a career, so he's had a really.
And you can't
long
get
career.
mad if it get brought up. You run
Those
for
are your
president.
words. Yeah, I mean, you can talk about how you've evolved, and which I think is a fair thing to say, but instead he, just tried to put together.
As opposed to evolve, he devolved.
Right. He tried to put together a word salad, I think, and he got caught off guard again, just like he got caught off guard by Senator Kamala Harris in the first debate. He seems to get caught off guard with questions that he should be prepared for at an HBCU. If you're going to be at Texas State University, you should be prepared.
Texas Southern.
Texas Southern, I'm sorry.
Texas State is a white university.
Right, my mistake. Texas Southern University. If you're gonna be at an HBCU, you should be prepared for questions like that are going to reflect your record and things that you've said, and he was unprepared for that.
But I think instead of critiquing him for being unprepared, we should take a clear look at who he is. And what I mean by that is the question was about a comment that he made some time ago where he wasn't going to take responsibility for what people who enslaved people did. But what he did, which no one has talked about much, is that, again, when the question of race came up, he went back to class and started calling black people poor or implying that poor and black are synonymous. He did it again. And that's problematic, but I think it's good that we get to see the man for who he is. But interestingly enough, even though he's done these things previously that are problematic and that imply that he has a racist perspective, he's leading in the polls. And he's supposedly leading in the polls because of it's associated with the first black president. Ain't that kind of paradoxical, if you will, that the man who's connected to the first black president keeps on talking about class and poor people when he's asked about race?
One of the things.
Cleo, the thing about, if we go back and look at Joe Biden's record and also his record with President Obama, let's not forget the comment he made that apparently President Obama was willing to overlook, but not overlook Reverend Jesse Jackson, who made some other comments we won't talk about. But you can forgive the white boy, but not the brother. And remember, he talked about he was what did he say? Clean and articulate.
First black candidate we've had that's clean.
That's clean. So everybody else, Shirley Chisholm was not clean.
Right.
Reverend
talking about
Jackson.
Obama now?
Huh?
We're talking about Obama now.
No, we're talking about
first of all,
when Joe Biden said that.
In 2007, Biden was one of the candidates running against Obama and Hillary Clinton, and he made this comment about Obama being clean and clean, well-dressed and articulate.
That's what I mean to say,
and
we're
that
talking
took up a
about
whole
Obama.
lot of different people. Absolutely.
And so we have to understand where he's coming from. If you're a centrist liberal, he's okay. I mean, he's okay. But understand the roots of his racism. Understand that he's from Delaware.
We prefer him over Trump.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
And
So we
again,
prefer racism light over pure racism.
Well, I mean, no, it's
honestly-
not even about pure racism. No,
I
that
think there's
person,
levels to
the
this,
orange
like
orangutan,
Meek Mill
is not
South,
only a pure racist, but he has rolled back all kind of regulation. He has done everything he can to beat down not only black people, but also poor people. I mean, I will hold my nose and vote for Biden if I had to. I mean, rather jump up and down and dance and vote for Kamala or somebody else. I mean, Buttigieg is even kind of halfway growing on me. Don't be blinking your eyes, Cleo.
Look, here's the deal. I believe that voters are making decisions based upon what they see as who can beat Trump. They're also, I think, making decisions based upon, okay, who am I comfortable with? I think looking at experience. I think, no doubt, the Obama factor, being vice president for 8 years. I think also, again, Trump is so nuts and so out there. It's so like, just give me any sense of what's normal. And no, seriously. And the reality is there are people who do believe that Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Elizabeth Warren are too far left. And so folks are making all sort of calculus. But remember, this is still the middle of September. Right. Remember, 2007, Obama was down 20-plus points to Hillary Clinton. There was a debate in October in Iowa. She was asked a question about driver's licenses for undocumented workers, gave a messed up answer. That opened the door for Obama, and that's what caused the shift for her numbers to go down, his numbers to go up. And so I've been saying all these debates, y'all been hearing me, this is all preseason. Now the regular season starts. I always said October 1st when the game changes. I think that's exactly what we're seeing right now. One thing, though, that did happen last night that's really pissing me off with mainstream media. So last night, Julian Castro really went after Joe Biden and was like, you don't remember what you just said 2 minutes ago? And I've been looking at all these comments all day. And all these people talking about, oh, my God, that was shameful, that was wrong of him, it was ageism because he's 76. That's utter bullshit. You are running for president of the United States, okay? And guess what? You should get challenged on a debate stage. I'm sick, and I saw The View. They were all dogging him. No, here's what's really going on here. Democrats want to play a soft game. All these media people, what they're really saying is, ooh, don't do anything to damage Joe Biden. Let me tell you something. If Joe Biden doesn't get taken through the ringer and every other candidate, what the hell you think Trump going to do?
Hello.
Can I-
What
wait,
the
but
hell
Roland-
you think the GOP is going to do?
Can I just say one thing? As far as Castro and what he said yesterday, the point that I think people are missing is that he was wrong.
Yes.
The fact that he said, Joe Biden said, in my plan, you can opt in. And then Castro said, unlike, Vice President Biden's plan, you don't have to buy in. And he said, you don't have to buy into my plan. Buy in and opt in are two different things. So that's what he was trying to point out when he said, and then he said, don't you remember? And I really believe that Castro was doing that purposefully. I think he totally knew.
But here's the deal, though.
Those are two different phrases.
I don't care if he is. What I'm saying is, I'm tired of all these media.
Oh, you can play rough. I'm
no,
okay with that.
but my problem is all these white media people. Oh no. We gotta protect Joe.
Oh, no.
We gotta put cushions around him because we can't stop bringing his age up. Yes, he's 76, and yes, Sanders is 78. Warren is 70, but you know what? I've heard people also say that Pelosi and Steny Hoyer and Clyburn, the top 3 leaders of Democrats in the House, are all 70 plus and too old. Right. But again, you're running for president.
But here's the deal, though. What Castro did was wrong because he was wrong.
Right.
He basically took it out of context.
No, but they're not mad at him because of that. They're literally saying he's wrong, his candidacy is over because he shouldn't be doing that to Joe.
Well, no,
that was just unfair.
But I agree with you. We agree with that. But he was wrong and he was stupid. Because wrong and stupid, and then went wrong, stupid 3 times. Don't you remember what you said? Don't you remember what you said?
This is the third
if I
debate.
was Uncle Joe, I would have gone
looked
like
contrived
this.
to me.
But
Cleo,
they got mad at Senator Kamala Harris in the first debate
for
going after Biden.
She was right.
Wait a minute. They got mad at Cory Booker in the second debate for going after Biden, and they're mad at Castro. And what I'm saying is,
Castro was
but
wrong.
I think the reaction to what Castro did is not because he was wrong. It's literally, don't do that, that's wrong. You really should not do those things to Joe. Let me tell you something right now. The Republican Party right now, they are preparing ads that are going to portray Joe Biden as senile. Okay? They are going to run.
And not the incumbent.
No, I'm telling you. They are going to run ads saying, hey, don't trust him. He can't remember nothing. Okay,
well,
and
hell,
so
somebody got 12,000 lives.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is,
lives.
but the media reaction, Cleo, is very interesting because you see what's going on here. I'm sorry. The moment you get your behind on that stage, you're open to get cracked by anybody. And I just think Castro last night rolled up on the debate with a bunch of grenades and was just pulling pins just boom.
Right. But see, that's the problem. He pushed pins and he was wrong. It would have made more sense if he pushed pins and he was right. And I agree. Of course, the Republicans are going to come after whoever. And people keep talking about, like you did, that Trump lied 12,000 times. his constituents don't care.
Don't care.
About him lying. They
Don't
just
care.
want
Let's
white
make it
power
15 and
and
round
all.
it up.
Like
No,
I
they don't
say,
care.
Manifest Destiny wasn't sane or logical either, but it
Hell,
happened.
you got Paula White running around talking about how she walked through the White House. That's holy ground. I'm praying against everybody. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, she lost her mind.
It is holy ground for if you're a white supremacist.
This was a house that enslaved people built. Let me repeat
She called
that.
it holy
this
ground.
is the house that enslaved people built.
I'm just saying-
Made their ghosts come and strangle somebody.
I'm just tired of the people who. Here's the deal. This whole idea of let's protect Uncle Joe. No, you're running. You must go through the test, get challenged, get pushed, get questioned. Doesn't matter to me how it happens. Nobody on the stage should be protected. Look, Lindsey Davis hit Kamala Harris last night with a serious question on criminal justice. Y'all got that soundbite ready for me? Go ahead and play that, the bite where Lindsey Davis asked a very pointed question to Senator Kamala Harris. Check this out.
People of color is criminal justice reform. Senator Harris, you released your plan for that just this week, and it does contradict some of your prior positions. Among them, you used to oppose the legalization of marijuana. Now you don't. You used to oppose.
We're having a slight issue there with the video, but basically, she asked her point blank, you changed some of your positions. Why didn't you do those things then versus doing those things now? Again, some people, is it ready?
This week, and it does. People of color is criminal justice reform. Senator Harris, you released your plan for that just this week, and it does contradict some of your prior positions. Among them, you used to oppose the legalization of marijuana. Now you don't. You used to oppose outside investigations of police shootings. Now you don't. You've said that you changed on these and other things because you were, quote, swimming against the current, and thankfully the currents have changed.
Had the power. Why didn't you try to affect change there? Strong question. I still don't understand why Senator Kamala Harris can't answer this question.
Well, she claimed.
I don't understand.
She claimed she was doing and I didn't buy it, frankly, but she claimed she was doing the inside-outside strategy. That I can't change things for black people or people who are oppressed if I'm on the outside. If I get a job, and I'm paraphrasing when I say it, and act like them and do the same thing they did who are racist, then because I'm on the inside, I can eventually influence it and make things better for the community. But I don't think that happened.
Well, I think, I'm a native San Franciscan and Kamala is a friend and a colleague, and I adore her. I'm not necessarily endorsing nobody for president just yet, but I think that she has a lot of gravitas. I think that she did her best under the conditions that she was dealt with, and I think that
in
she.
San Francisco.
Yes.
Well,
and in the state. I mean, I think that what she did was attempted. Now, I would say attempted, and we have to understand the limitations of elected office. Attempted to make the terms and conditions of black life better.
So let me.
The number of black people who were incarcerated went down under her. A number of things improved. It wasn't perfect. It was not a structural change, but under her, things did improve. And I think you can't ignore that. On the other hand, if you run to be a prosecutor, your job is to prosecute. Now, I wish she had better answers, and I wish I could answer the stuff for her, because I would answer it for her.
But she was the prosecutor. Yeah. And how come she can't answer them?
Look, I'll say this about Senator Harris. Senator Harris is a progressive senator, but she was not a progressive prosecutor or state's attorney.
That's right.
You know what I mean? She's a progressive senator. Her record, it's just like the Cleveland Browns right now. People say they're a Super Bowl team, but right now they're 0-1. You are what your record says you are.
Yep.
And so her record in the state of California as a prosecutor.
Incarcerations went down.
Okay,
Address that.
So address this. Daniel Larson, Teresa Sheehan. Address how she even went against her own values in 2014 and tried to keep the death penalty in the state of California. She got asked, and you talk about people being taken to task. She got taken to task in the last debate by
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Look,
she had no answers.
Look,
for
here's
it.
the deal. Here's the deal. Let's first of all let's just be straight when it comes to these attorney generals, okay, and DAs. All right. Democrats have always been cascaded as being soft on crime. All right, that's always been the case. All right. So the reality is, she was a DA, also was Attorney General. Yes, there are going to be unpopular decisions that she takes. When Lindsay talked about you're now for legalization of marijuana, before you were against it. This is all she had to do, and I'm telling you, it's not that hard. All she had to simply say is, a politician should be able to evolve.
Yes.
I would have said that was a point when Joe Biden and Barack Obama both were against same-sex marriage.
Hello.
When I was supporting it in California. They evolved, and so have I on these issues. Now let me talk about my criminal justice plan. Boom, it's done. The problem, as I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting in the room, is that what she's doing is the same thing Biden does, and most politicians, and frankly, most people. People don't want to admit, you know what, I screwed up. That was on me, my bad. So what they do is, they try to dance around it, try to defend it. No, the easiest thing is to
Own it.
There was some issues. There was some mistakes. Things I would do differently. And yes, on a number of issues, I have a need evolved. And you know what? We all should. There should be growth with your politician. Boom, move the hell on. But until she gives that kind of answer, I can tell you right now, in the next debate, it's going to get asked again. And the next debate is going to get asked again until she's able to answer it that way by simply saying, yes, there were some positions that I took then that I would not take now because I have evolved as a politician. Period.
The problem is that, again, if she said she were a progressive senator, I don't think there's anyone who can debate that. But she said she was progressive.
No, but here's the problem.
Which she was not.
But here's the problem. First of all, you have to. First of all,
Larry Krasner,
no. First of all, no. See, this is the problem right here. Okay, you're trying to define a Larry Krasner progressive in 2019 compared to an early 2000 progressive. Okay, you can't.
I'm not even sure that
You can't. What? You can't. Her smart on crime stuff was totally different than some other hardcore DAs.
Sure. She
Okay.
wasn't the worst.
No, I didn't say I didn't say she was the worst. She wasn't the best. What I'm saying is, when you say she wasn't a progressive DA, you then have to define what's progressive.
Sure.
And again, bro, you have to acknowledge that the number of people incarcerated went down under her. And I think that that's very significant. Roland, I totally agree with you about she needs to be so much less defensive and just own her record and say, yo, I've changed. But I think that if you look at her record, it's a mixed record. It's not a perfect record at all. It's a mixed record, but there is some positivity there that a whole lot of folks are not willing to deal with, and they're pulling a case here, a case there.
Well, the Supreme Court
you've given her a beautiful script in terms of what to say next time, and I'm sure her people are watching. They're gonna probably tap on their shoulder. Did you hear what Roland said? You better consider that, because that was really a powerful script. And the reason I use the script, because that's what it is. I believe, from my perspective, that just like Biden says what he feels based on his perspective, Kamala's saying what she feels based on her perspective. I don't think that she can talk herself out of it, in my opinion. You both are all assuming that she's evolved. I'm not sure she's evolved.
Here's the deal. If you look at
I don't make that assumption.
The criminal justice plan that she released on Monday is a strong plan.
It is strong.
Okay.
She's running for president.
But here's the point, though. The point I'm making is, if I am going to be solely defined by my past, and I lay out, here's what I'm going to do, what I'm saying is, when you're in that space, I can sit here and get caught up in an old conversation, say what I've done. Same thing, when she went after Joe Biden simply would not just say 2 words, Three words. I was mistaken.
Hello.
It was this whole, this is what it was. It was this whole deal. And even if that was your position then, 40 years later, your ass might want to say, my bad. But to sit here and contort yourself and not want to do that, you're making the situation
But
worse.
Roland, the man was asked a question about the legacy of slavery and his perspective of it back then, and he went from that conversation to talking about poor people and black people.
Yeah.
My point
And
is
record
that
players.
we're hoping that, because we're comparing him to Trump or whoever, that he's evolved. I'm not sure he's evolved. As a matter of fact, because of how he answers the question, how he changes the subject and not directly responsive to what he was asked about, I think that people are afraid to say what they really feel, so they bumble and bring up a whole nother abstract topic. That's not the point.
Also,
That's what people do when they have not evolved.
Also say this here. I personally thought, first of all, I thought out of all the candidates, she desperately needed a major win last night. I thought the situation was
Sure
perfect. The fact that you're the only HBCU graduate, debates on an HBCU campus. Her strongest point in the debate, let me know if we get that soundbite, was when she talked about funding HBCUs and the importance of black teachers in the classroom.
That was great.
3 different times, the audience, great applause just within that particular statement. Do we have the soundbite? If we go ahead and play it for right now.
First grade teacher, Mrs. Frances Wilson, God rest her soul, attended my law school graduation. I think most of us would say that we are not where we are without the teachers who believed in us. I have offered in this campaign a proposal to deal with this.
All right, folks, having an issue with our playback machine, but in that, when she talked about, again, values of those teachers, in terms of black teachers, strongest point. And I'm sitting there, and because here's how I sort of see these debates. And again, when you're in the room compared to just watching television, I think what happens a lot of times with these candidates is they go, okay, I'm talking to the nation. Yes, but the reality is, if I'm able to dominate the room's response is the instant feedback to me that drives me on the energy side. It also then plays a part in what I'm seeing at home. I would have come out, I'll tell you right now, because like her opening statement, she was like, glad to be back at TSU. Then, but I was like, okay, that was it. For me, I would have been saying, first and foremost, this Bison is happy to be here in Houston with these Texas Southern University Tigers. What happens? Crowd claps. Student section was down here. Students would have loved it. All right? I would have dropped in an Ocean of Soul reference. Okay? No, I'm serious. I'm
You
serious.
probably would have talked about the Alphas too.
No, well, of course. But what I'm saying is, and I'm telling you right now, if I was Kamala Harris and you're an AKA, you damn right I would have said, glad to see some of my sorrows in the audience. Why am I saying that? Because you create that moment where the crowd is in essence with you. You create the moment. I'm sitting here last night. Folks, do y'all realize you got Castro on the end? Dude, you were Secretary of HUD under Obama. Right across the street. When I say across the street, I don't mean down the street. I don't mean 3 blocks down. Right across the street from TSU is a massive public housing complex called the CUNY Homes. Right across the street. You can be on TSU's campus, Cleburne Street, look across the street, it's CUNY Homes. If I'm one of those folks, I'm going to work that in what I'm talking about. And I'm sitting here just going, that's how you own a stage. You own a place. You feed off of that audience. It reverberates back to you and the folks watching at home. I think I really believed she needed to own last night. I don't think it happened because here's where I now see this race. And granted, nobody has voted. There are 3 tiers in this race. Top tier is Biden, Sanders, Warren. The second tier is Harris, Buttigieg, maybe Beto. He's like he's on the edge. Well, no, he's on the end of the second tier and the beginning of the third tier, but he's like right on the line if you look at the polling numbers. And there's everybody else. The problem for Buttigieg and Harris is that those 3 are solidifying themselves as the top 3. She needed to make a move last night. Buttigieg need to make a move last night to position themselves. I don't think they've done it, and it's going to be harder moving forward, and she also needs to solidify her black support because it's 20, according to the Essence Black Women's Roundtable survey, 26% of black women said, I ain't decided. Okay, Biden's at the top at 26%. She's second. But if you don't hit that number like Castro, he's performing worse among black women than Trump is. Bruh, you ain't got a shot. If Trump is 2.3% among black women and Castro, you hit 1%, it ain't going to do it. Buttigieg, same way. I just think that's sort of where you are. This next debate, October 15th and 16th, yo, it's going to be game on. Otherwise, those top three, people are going to start going. And here's what makes it worse. I want y'all to speak to this. The first two town halls on CNN, MSNBC, her town halls were the most viewed out of all the candidates. So all the people really wanted to hear from her. I don't think that she has truly written that and really built that sort of momentum. And I think right now it's going to be a struggle.
Well, I think that I agree with you. I think that she has had too many opportunities to really solidify her base, and she hasn't done it. I think that, as you say, being at Texas Southern, come on, HBCU, you could have done all kinds of stuff. You would have been.
I would have invoked.
You would have been prancing across the
I
stage.
would have invoked Barbara Jordan. I would have invoked Mickey
Hello?
Leland.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. My deal would have. I would have been super. I would have been super black last night.
See, Roland, you are speaking from where you live.
No, I'm speaking from research.
No.
Well, wait. My point is that you research from where you live. You speak from where you live as a black man. That's who you are. I think she's speaking from where she lives, frankly.
And she's a black woman, Cleo, so let's not.
I think
she's a black woman.
I was going to be finished.
I'm saying.
I think what she said was powerful about black children. And by the time they get to third grade, when they have a black teacher, they do better. It's true. And I think that was her way of trying to wink at black folks by saying that. Well,
no, she wasn't
well,
trying
let me
to win.
Finish. Argue with my finished comment. She was trying to wink at the black community because she wants the black vote. But you're talking about what she could have done better on that campus in the South and took advantage of the cultural issues there. And I don't think that's who she is.
But she is a black woman. Culturally, she is a black woman.
She
and she has been a black woman. And she is a bison, as Roland has said. She's an AKA, and as a Delta woman, I
her
have
first
some issues
meetings
with
are
that.
at Howard, wasn't it? Did she break out on the Howard campus?
Right.
But
that was the wink at the black
she
folks,
could
too.
have been stronger on those issues.
Booker too.
I think that she is really attempting to be to reach. This was an opportunity for her to put her black card on the table, and she didn't do it.
She had a home game. This was a home game for her. I know people said it was Beto's home game because he's from Texas, and also Castro. I really think it was her. She had the audience. It's the same thing, I think in the last debate, or at least the one that was in Detroit, the fact that Biden, number one, didn't talk about saving the auto industry in Detroit. And the things that they accomplished for the Midwest. And he's supposedly that, working class guy from, a Rust Belt light state. He didn't claim the home field, and I think she did the same thing. She missed an opportunity, and I really do believe, even though it's very early, it's still becoming a three-person race.
And not just her. Again, I thought Senator Cory Booker could have done that. I just
Well, he said he lived in the city.
Cory
Well,
Booker,
no,
I don't think that's who he is.
No. Actually,
I don't think that's Cory.
No. Actually, last night. No,
Talking
actually.
about a black woman,
Hold
but
up.
that ain't a black man.
No, not true. No. Hold on. Last night. Hold up. We're not gonna sit here.
I'm not saying
We are
he's
not
not a
gonna
black
play
man.
this game. We're not gonna play this game where we're gonna call her a black woman. He ain't a black man.
I never said
No.
he wasn't a
But
black
here's
man.
the
Kamala
piece.
wasn't black.
Here's the piece. His answer last night.
Not out loud.
His answer last night on the issue of guns, when he said, "Oh, don't act like all of a sudden now y'all care because it's in your community when you ain't been giving a damn about black folks who been killed." I thought that was strong.
It was strong.
Again, I think Senator Cory Booker's biggest problem is he is trying to run the inspirational hope playbook of Obama, when what Democrats want today is somebody who's gonna fight. And they're like, you know what, dude? The hope, no, bro, we good with that.
see, that's
And
not
so
cool
that's
by y'all.
and that's why Harris, I think, came out in her opening statement. She was so quick to get to, I'm going after Trump. I mean, literally, she's like,
Yeah.
glad to be back at TSU. Boom. Trump was like, damn, that was it?
Yeah,
You know,
I
I'm just
thought
saying,
that
Not
was
only did
that
she
was
go-
actually.
Not only did she go after Trump, she was talking to Trump.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
thought that
like-
was a mistake, actually.
Why are you talking to Trump?
I thought that was
I think
good.
it was right on
See, I
time
don't
because
think-
I think that
Trump don't
basically
care.
the bottom line here is what do Democrats want? They want that orange orangutan out of the house that enslaved people built.
But we
They
know
want
this.
that man out of there. And so she put that out there. Although
Right.
the conversation is among Democrats, the bottom line is get that
It's
fool
contrived.
out
But
of
talk
there.
to us.
It's contrived.
Give us something to vote for. Don't talk to
Yeah,
Trump.
we already know how
You know what I mean?
bad
When she
Trump
says
is.
not
You'll
much-
get an opportunity. If you win this thing, you'll get an opportunity to talk to Trump
No,
face to face.
No, here's
talk to me. Tell me what I'm voting for.
No,
I agree.
the move there, the reason that move was also smart, because what she was also signaling was, I'm not about to get into a scrum with the rest of y'all on stage. So that's why
I got a strategy.
Castro, you could throw there. And so that was sort of saying, I'm not going to attack fellow Democrats. I'm going after Trump. I got that. All I'm saying is, when you look at where this race is right now, and again, this to me is the last preseason game, regular season now starts. The problem is those top three, they're in double digits. Okay? You're in double digits. And I'm telling you right now, I have been saying this for months. People kept telling me I was crazy. The one candidate who everybody better keep paying attention to, and I said it when she got in, is Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
Because I have talked to black female activists. There are black women who I'm talking to are like, yay, we like Senator Harris, we like Bernie, but she's appealing to them.
That's true.
And I'm telling you, if you're Biden
That's
and if you're Sanders, that's the person to watch out for. And if you look at that Essence Black Women's Roundtable survey, Warren was right below Harris. Harris needs that gap to be wider. You do not want Elizabeth Warren all of a sudden to start polling 18, 20, 22% among black women. That's what's going to vault her to number 2, potentially number 1.
Well, let me tell you one thing.
If you look at the history of black women, and especially black sorority women, AKs, deltas, etc., you're looking at teachers. And Elizabeth Warren appeals to people as a teacher. I mean, she really breaks stuff down as a teacher.
Precisely.
She's an educator, and she comes out from that. I mean, she's not flash and dash, but she breaks stuff down.
Joe
I think
Madison
what
said you got to put it where the goats can get it.
Yeah.
She makes it simple for you to understand and go, oh, really? Right. And that
and
is
that's
effective.
appealing to
Right.
that's
It's
appealing to
effective.
black women.
Right.
It's appealing to women in general because a lot of women are tired of the rhetoric and want to hear. And she says, "I got a plan for that." Now that may be
Yeah.
a cliche,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, the plans she have are detailed, and she's laying
Right.
them out there.
I'm a man, and I appreciate that, and I'm an educator, so I like a lot of what Elizabeth Warren says. I think also we have to remember. I was just looking at a poll in New Hampshire that came out that has Kamala in 5th, behind Tulsi Gabbard, who wasn't
Lordy.
even on the stage. So she really, I think if she wants to break out, she needs a real serious breakout moment. If you're losing to people who weren't even on the stage.
But
last night.
she has a difficult journey. I think she has the intellect to do it. But remember when Barack first debated Romney? Remember that first debate?
Right.
Yeah, the pitiful debate.
The one nobody. Well, from my perspective, what Barack was going through was not offending white people. He didn't want to offend white people, so he could not lose his possibility of being back in office for another 4 years.
That ain't what happened.
Well, that's my perspective.
You know what, Cleo? He didn't want to be there. It
Okay.
was his damn anniversary. He didn't want to debate. He was mad. He was
Okay.
ornery.
He
He
did
was
not
like,
wanna be
look,
there.
I ain't trying
You're
to be here. And he was like, and when he came out, his whole team was like, damn, that sucked. Because he didn't want to be there at all. It was like he was just had this whole
But I
put-off
tell you
attitude.
what, and this happened in front of everybody's eyes. What happened after that horrible debate was he had Bill Clinton, Joe Biden, and a bunch of white men talking for him.
Well, first of all, remember, after the first debate, there was a vice presidential debate.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Biden went after whoever that boy Romney had as his running mate. Right. That's right, Paul Ryan. Okay. And then there was a second debate.
Right.
But what happened there was Michelle was like, it's time to show up.
Okay.
So the first one, He was
Yeah.
more concerned about going on a date with her on the anniversary
Well, he
than a
looked
doggone
scared.
presidential debate.
His face.
He didn't want to be there.
I can read
think he looked
facial
scared.
gesture.
I
Well, watch it
He
again.
looked pissed.
He looked disinterested.
No.
He didn't want to be there.
And-
Anyway, I want to make
and
my
he
point.
got trounced.
I want to make my
trounced in
point.
that.
But guess what?
To me,
him getting trounced in the debate didn't mean nothing because the race was already locked in. The votes are already there. That's a different dynamic than a primary. But go ahead.
I think that Kamala
Senator Harris
is
moved.
trying to
Harris,
make
Senator Kamala
sure that she winks at black folks and keep that vote and not lose the white vote. And I think,
She needs to get the black vote. She's
well,
not winning.
I'm talking about intentionality, not necessarily what actually going to occur.
Look, everybody should
but I
try-
think the intentionality is I'm starting off at the HBCUs. I'm doing this black. I had some hot sauce at the barbecue shack.
Oh, please,
She,
stop that.
well, she did though.
Yeah, but some,
She's let me finish my let me
sauce in my
finish.
purse right
Here's what
over
she's
there.
doing.
How come I
I
can't
like hot
finish?
sauce.
Look, this is real simple. All the candidates who
Where
are
your hot
running,
sauce bottle
all
at?
the candidates who are running,
Right over there.
look, all the candidates who are running want to have sort of this broad-based appeal. The problem is this here. There are so many people in the race. The reality is you must lock down your lanes. And so that is, okay, what exactly is my base? And so, yes, when Warren hits on the stage by saying, I think I'm the only person up here who's been a public teacher, okay? What she's actually saying is, teachers, I need y'all to be for me, locking down the base.
Sure.
And so the point I'm making, which is why I said I thought Harris should have owned the stage last night, you have to lock down bases. Even though Biden is doing very well among older black voters and voters who are 50 plus, okay, then that should say, okay, look at the numbers. There's still 26% of those black women who ain't decided. All right, so
Go for it.
I got room to grow. How do I appeal to them? And so the other candidates, Castro, since 2016 when he was on the short list for Hillary Clinton, and now did not lock down Latinos. Didn't. He's still polling so low because what's your natural base? And so you still have de Blasio out there, Delaney out there. You still got Bennett out there. You still got about 8, Tim Ryan. You get about 8 people who needs to drop out. What's going to happen is this race, I would dare say by November, this race should be down to about 10 people. They'll stick around. They'll stick around because the calendar has changed. Remember, it used to be Iowa, New Hampshire, or you're bust. Well, early voting in California is actually going to be happening before they even vote in Iowa. So you take a Buttigieg. A Buttigieg is doing very well right now in California. So he may not do well in Iowa and New Hampshire, but he might do well in California. So the map changes. I'm just thinking, and again,
I don't think it's going to be 10, though, Roland. I mean, okay, my 5 might be low. I think your 10 is high. Maybe we're talking 7.
good, baby.
Because I think that, some of the scrubs are going to leave. You got the top 3. They're going to stay. I think Harris.
Yeah, some of
is
the scrubs are
stay.
going to leave. But remember, it's about 18 of them still around. I mean, no, and then remember, the next debate, Tom Steyer is already qualified. So he's in. And so, look, at the end of the day, all the stuff back and forth now you have to say, wait a minute, what's my lane? Because if I'm looking at this race over a 4-month period, I gotta stay in it. So where do I win or where do I come in second? That's the key. All right, where do I win or come in second? If I got a series of 3rd and 4th place finishes, it ain't gonna happen.
Well,
And that's what I'm looking at.
Warren is in a good position in terms of style because she's never tentative. She's always banned.
There you go.
But I think people who are tentative, which I won't say no names so I won't get interrupted no more, are tentative for a reason. There are reasons why they're tentative because they're doing more negotiating, in my opinion, around race and around perception and optics, blah, blah,
got
blah.
you.
Warren ain't tripping. She's like, bam. And that's a privilege, frankly,
Which
for
is
her not to have to do all that nuancing
which-
and can
which
say
is-
exactly what she feels.
Which has been
Was it
helpful
what Romney
for
did
her,
with Bush,
which is
I mean,
also
with,
why,
Obama.
frankly, even like last night, not like we went after Sanders last night. It's sort of the same thing. So the question then becomes, how do you build upon what is already your base? If you're Sanders, how do you now go from where you are to the next level to be Biden?
Prozac. The dude hollers.
Prozac.
Well,
That is, seriously. I mean, I was watching something on CNN this morning, and they were talking about, they were undecided voters, about 10 of them. 2 of them flipped to Warren. The rest of them had Warren and Biden, as a couple people had Castro. But everybody talked about how Sanders is so darn shrill. The dude just hollers.
See,
I mean,
I personally, I read that as passion, and I actually
ain't
like
passion.
it. And
I think that man is
the
a,
fact
that's
that
a
he's
crazy
a little,
old white
I
man.
think you're a minority.
he's a little ornery.
No,
I
hold up,
don't mind
hold
a little
up, hold up.
orneriness. because
Jason, how old are you?
I'm 41.
Julian, how old are you?
I'll be 66 in 2 weeks.
And
Send me presents.
that is also the difference. But what you have is younger voters want to see passion and a fighter. Older voters want to see if you guys know what the hell you're talking about. Here's the problem for younger voters. Here's the problem. No, but here's the problem for younger voters. They asses don't vote at the same level. Your demo does not vote at the same level as Julian's demo.
That's true.
Julian's demo is like, y'all can take y'all young asses out there. Y'all can be happy with all the passion you want to. They gonna double up your demo. In like 1834, I keep telling you, all y'all, and again, I want people who are 1830. It don't matter. I want 1834 out there voting, but this is not rocket science. People who are between the ages of 18 and 45 outnumber baby boomers, but baby boomers vote
like we crazy.
They
We vote like we crazy.
We ain't debating. It's gonna be rain. It's gonna be snow. They gonna vote.
Well, if baby boomers want cheaper prescription drugs and want good health care, then perhaps they should consider
Jason,
Bernie
that
Sanders.
argument not gonna fly, Jason.
But you know
It's
what,
not.
Jason?
It's
no,
logical, but
we
it's
can
not.
consider Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders.
no,
as far as I'm concerned, frankly, I was finished with him in 2016.
A lot
He's
of
shrill.
people were.
He's he and Trump are
But you know they said that
two
about Hillary,
sides
too.
of the same coin.
Oh no!
They are.
Oh, they
No.
all. They all
Shrill,
are. They
old,
all.
crazy
They all
white
two
men.
sides of the same
Real
no,
coin.
old
no.
crazy white men who holler.
I'm trying
All
to
of
tell
them.
y'all.
No.
I'm
I
trying
was
to tell
with
y'all.
you, Julian. I was with you, Redbone, but you went the
Red
wrong
bone.
route.
Ah! Passive aggressive.
No, but
I'm trying to warn y'all.
they did again. You're doing the same thing they did to Clinton. She's two sides of the same coin. She's shrill. They did the same thing to Clinton.
No, also,
shoe fits
frankly,
for both
Jason,
shoes.
you know,
We
and
know
I know, you know, and I know that
White House
none of
is
these white
occupied.
people get race correctly, and
Sure.
Bernie gets it less than many. I think Elizabeth Warren gets it, and she gets the intersection of race and gender in ways that appeal to me. I'm not endorsing her or anything. Like I said, Carolyn, my girl, but I want to see how this thing plays out. But Bernie turns me off. He truly turns me off.
I'm telling you, if you
know.
if you
He wrote the
study,
damn bill.
if you study,
And
he wrote
somebody
the
else
he
read
wrote
the-
he wrote the
somebody
damn
else
bill.
read the damn
but,
bill.
but Amy Klobuchar said, "I read the damn bill." Here's the piece here, and again, here I'm telling you, moving forward, this is what people are going to be looking at. They're going to be looking at Biden's ability to talk policy and be empathetic. Tone also matters.
Yes.
Warren, talk policy and be empathetic. Do you understand my plight? The answer is yes. Senator Sanders has to deal with, why are you yelling at me? That I don't care. Harris.
Why you yelling? Comb your hair.
Biden's not going to get the young vote. He messed
No,
up with the
no,
record
no,
player.
no,
He should have
no,
said
no, no.
DVD
Biden,
or Bluetooth.
Here's the deal, though. Here's the
He
deal,
said
though.
record player. He messed
DVDs are obsolete, too.
Y'all, Biden don't need the young vote to win the primary. Okay, y'all got to go. Did y'all forget 2016? Trump walked through the Republican side. He didn't need 40%. All he needed was 32, 35. But as long as you have 10, 12 people in the race, I don't need 50%. It's about winning the primary. And so that's going to be the issue. That's why I'm saying if 8 to 10 people drop out, that now changes the dynamic. If 10 people drop out who are now polling at 1%, that's 10% of the populace who now have to make a decision. Where does that 10% go? Who does it shift to? And that's sort of where this thing is going. Watch everything will change. The next debate is October 15th. Watch the shift. Then, if nobody is able to hit Biden and to put a dent in his lead, this is going to be the ball game, and he's going to sit here and take 35 and 36% and win Iowa. He's going to say, fine, Bernie and Warren, y'all can go ahead and fight out New Hampshire. He's going to go down to Nevada, likely win there. And then when he goes to South Carolina and them old black folks vote, he's going to be sitting there with 3 of the first 5 states, or 4 of the first 5 with wins compared to 1. This is going to be about how do you connect with me as a voter. Even if he screws up, it's his tone and his policy. I'm just saying, Harris, she has somewhat of the tone, has the policy, but you gotta talk to that voter in a way. You gotta connect.
And she hasn't connected. She's connected with some people. She hasn't connected with enough people, and she has not connected with the black people who should be her natural base.
There you go. And that's also why Cory Booker is polling so low as well. Because again, in politics, it's your natural base.
Well, he don't have
and
no
you
natural
build and
base.
you build upon that. Build upon that.
Well,
all right, folks. We got to go ahead. Last
If
comment, real
Biden
quick.
remains the lead candidate, the Democratic ticket is in trouble, because young people are not going to vote for Biden on the Democratic side. Young people in the Republican Party are going to vote for Trump.
I think. First of all,
They're going to come out to get for that white power.
Here's the deal. First of all,
Across the age
that's where
range.
his VP. That's why his VP selection is going to be critically important.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where Stacey Abrams' name comes to the top of the list. But also what happened. Also remember, 1834 did not vote the way they should have in 2016. The numbers increased in 2018. They may not be enthused with Biden. They may not be happy with Biden, but hate is a huge driver. And they're going to say, if it's between him and him, we better not make the mistake we did in 2016 by trying to say they're about the same. Because the reality is, the people who said Hillary Clinton was the same as Trump are sitting here going, damn, we now realize they are not the absolute same. So we'll see what happens there. All right, folks. Sad news. Juanita Abernathy, the wife, the widow of Reverend Ralph David Abernathy, passed away last night in Atlanta. She was 87 years old. She simply wasn't the widow of Ralph David Abernathy, of course, who was the right-hand man of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. She also, in her own right, was a civil rights activist, like so many of the women during the civil rights movement. So we certainly send our thoughts and prayers to her son. We had an opportunity to sit down with her last year, interview her in her home in Atlanta for our MLK 50 coverage. And so after we finish this show, we are going to stream that conversation with Juanita Abernathy, talking about the movement. Again, 87 years old. Unfortunately for her and her family, it was really after her husband, when his book came out, when he wrote about Dr. King having an affair the night before he was killed. That really is what changed the view of a lot of people, and the Abernathys really have not been able to recover from that. There are a lot of people, a lot of civil rights leaders who are celebrated in a huge way for their contributions. He is not being treated the same, and I can tell you, we felt that in that room. We felt that residue over that, where literally that family has been shunned as a result of his book that was published. But we certainly want to, again, offer our thoughts and prayers. We have the details, of course, for you when we get them, about funeral plans for her as well. And I'll be posting some photos on social media. We were in, when we were at Oprah's place in 2014 when Selma came out. So that was this one point. I'm going to post the photo later on Instagram. So that was this one point where we were at this hotel. OJs were on stage, and all these folks were dancing, and then they had like a Soul Train line. And so Juanita Abernathy, Dick Gregory, and others, they were sitting down just watching everybody. And y'all know me, I don't believe you should be able to just watch folks dance. So I go over to the table, I grab Juanita Abernathy, and I'm like, come on, get out of here and let's dance. And so I walk out to the floor. I was sitting here dancing with her, so she had this huge smile on her face. What did I post the photo for y'all? It was really a great moment that took place about 5 years ago. And so again, Juanita Abernathy passed away at the age of 87. All right, folks, we've had a great time here at CBC. We shot several different sessions. We'll be streaming those sessions over the weekend as well. I want to thank our panelists for being here. Great conversation as always. Don't forget to support Roland Martin Unfiltered by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. All your dollars go to support this show for what we do. We got some great stuff lined up for you next week. But right now, we got to go. Holla! You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it.
Hey everybody, this is your man Fred Hammond, and you're watching Roland Martin, my man, Unfiltered.
Hi, this is Essence Atkins, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hey, yo, Peace World, what's going on? It's the Love King of R&B, Raheem Devon, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hi, my name is Brescia Webb, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. Ow. Well, I like a nice filter usually, but we can be unfiltered.
What's going on? This is Tobias Trevelyan, and if you're ready, you are listening to and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
What's up? I'm Lance Gross, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hi, this is Shirley Lee Ralph, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, could it be any other way? Really? It's Roland Martin.
You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Hey fam, want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered, the blackest show on all of digital, cable, and broadcast. Check out our audio podcast. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Press play.